My name is Elizar Pagán, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself. Let me start with three strengths that I would love to bring to your already hardworking, successful company. The first is adaptability. I have worked hard to learn and excel in different industries, and I think that adaptability is important to growing as an individual and as a company because we don't want to stay stuck and we want to thrive in changing times. So having that skill is important. The second is communication. Now, communication is vital when it comes to working in accounting because you have to explain those complicated ideas. You have to bridge the divide between the technicality and the relationships because you want to maintain those relationships. So when I was at Starpoint Properties, we had a vendor that came to us and said, "You owe us $112,000." And I looked at the data and it just wasn't true. So it took 6 months because they thought that if they ignored me, that I would pay them. But 6 months of persistent, patient, and polite communication and professionalism, they finally relented and agreed that we did not owe them that money. And then last is value and worth. My last company was SGI. Now they're a Buddhist organization and they only hire Buddhist members, so I didn't have a shot. But they did end the contract because they found a full-time Buddhist accountant. But they were very well pleased with my work that they asked if I could come back and work for them again. Now, they don't offer remote work, and I'm not going to make that commute from the East Coast to the West Coast. But it highlights the dedication that I bring to a company that they're willing to pay extra in staffing fees because they know the experience and knowledge I have in accounting is valuable. So, in conclusion, I want to bring adaptability so that we don't stay stuck and that we thrive in changing times. Communication to help us save money and maintain those business relationships. And then lastly, I just want to make sure that you're not in a place where SGI was, where they regret letting me go. Let me go ahead and move over to my resume and sort of paint that history and picture for you and put all those pieces together. Now, I started my accounting career in restaurant with Red Robin when I was in Denver, Colorado. And I did accounts payable there. Now, I had a dream and goal to always live and work in Los Angeles. Now, when I set a goal and a dream, I make sure to achieve it. So, Ruby's Diner opened up, and I did daily bank reconciliations, about 20 plus reconciliations every day. Now, we were in the middle of the 09-10 recession. That position was eliminated. Then I moved on to Frandelli, where they did end-to-end accounts payable for their 66 store locations, their Papa John's locations. It was a franchise company. And one of my accomplishments there was that there was a lot of chaos and they needed to adapt and change. It was so bad that stores' electricities were getting shut off. So I brought in my new system, new process, and so I eliminated that issue. I was a bit concerned that I didn't have enough variety in my resume to look attractive to jobs in Los Angeles for my goal. So CalAm opened up, and I was responsible for doing our general sales ledger activities for our sales department, general ledger activities for our commercial properties, uh, receiving rent, posting the rent, doing common area maintenance reconciliations, and then I was a personal assistant to an engineer where we split the profits, but I would handle his side of the books and use a different accounting software, Sage. And then finally, Xside opened up. My dream opened up. My goal was achieved. And Xside is a lead acid battery recycling plant. And they take lead acid batteries, they break them down, extract the lead, and send the lead off to our other locations. So I was responsible for inventory on a weekly to monthly basis, depending upon what we need, accounts payable, month end. And then I was responsible for a lot of big ad hoc projects like tracking $20 million projects. Twice we had $20 million projects where it was divided into 20 plus POs, and each of those POs probably had 3 to 4 sections, and even in those sections, they had different sub accounts. So I had to track to the penny all of our activities to that $20 million, make sure that it reconciled. It was a lot of fun, it was a lot of details, it was a lot of work, but I enjoy that kind of work. Then, unfortunately, the world fell apart on us in 2020. Now, I hope you can tell me this, because people have said this, that COVID 19 was an inconvenience to them. It nearly destroyed my life, and I didn't do anything wrong. I could not work for those 3 years because COVID hit me hard. I didn't start from square zero. I started from negative 15. So I had to crawl my way back, bring myself back up. And Star Point Properties wasn't worried about it. They said if they had the budget, they would hire me full time. But we were in the middle of that inflation back then, so they didn't have the budget. And as I said, I did end-to-end accounts payable there. They ended the contract. Then SGI opened up, and I did bank reconciliations, accounts receivable, accounts payable at SGI. They found their full-time accountant, Buddhist accountant, and then they ended the contract of September of 24 last year. It was around that time that I realized that I needed to let go of my dream of working and living in Los Angeles, that it was more important to thrive. So I moved over to the East Coast into Atlanta, and I moved into my new apartment here in January of 2025. Now, we did inherit a new administration that has done some once in a lifetime decisions with tariffs, making it difficult and hard. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is take care of today and fight for today. And when I look at my resume, I am very inspired and encouraged because this is a resume that tells me this is a guy that pushes himself, challenges himself, and when destruction comes for him, he gets back on his feet and pushes back and survives and thrives. Now, I don't know, this may just be a personal bias, but if I was a hiring manager, I would want that guy on my team. And let me just end with this. We talk about adaptability, especially in changing markets, especially when we're dealing with changes in technology and AI. And we came from the agrarian age of farming for thousands of years, and we have to move forward and keep surviving. Um, Adaptability requires education, and it requires not only your desire to learn and grow and challenge yourself, but having the skill to challenge someone else as well. And I would love to tell you a story about a time when I was at Exide and I was working with someone who was 20 years older than myself, who refused to learn, who refused to grow. But because of the way that I do things, I was able to encourage them because they didn't even have their high school diploma to start getting their GED. Um, and I could really see a change in them where they wanted to learn because they owned that desire of learning. And that's important. That's key. When you have those two elements, I think no matter what happens, you're going to do all right. Knowing that someone wants to grow and they want to help somebody else grow. So I'd love to tell you about that story, but I would just have to ask for an additional interview. Thank you very much for the opportunity to tell you about who I am. I would love the opportunity to hear more about you. Thanks and have a wonderful day.